大家好，我是叶如龙明，欢迎回来。世纪帝国4，那么我们上一次的战役100年战争已经结束了，对，没错。那我们接下来就要新的时代哦，我们好不容易玩到了火药时代，可是刚好进入火药时代就要换一个年代，可以啦，没有问题。OK， 那么我们进入下一个年代吧，不，下一个时代吧。那么应该说下一个历史啊，对，我们进入下一个历史，对，战役。那么这边来到的是蒙古帝国，蒙古帝国新的，就是蒙古。对，卡尔卡河战役1223年。OK， 那我们就来看看吧。
From the vast reaches of the Mongolian steppe, an army of over 100,000 men swept aside all resistance, claiming territories that spanned continents. Their leader Genghis Khan proclaimed his life's ambition was to unite the world under one empire. Having conquered the east, the Mongols turned their attention to the west, where they would come face to face with some of the greatest armies of medieval Europe. Would Genghis Khan's legendary warriors finally meet their match? By 1221, the Mongols had taken cities throughout Asia, generating vast amounts of tribute from those they conquered. The West, however, was still an untapped resource. Genghis Khan sent his trusted generals, Jebei and Subutai, to attack Europe. With an army of 20,000, Jebei and Subutai took the West by surprise, raiding cities and destroying armies. Within 2 years, they had the prosperous Rus territories in their sights. But in their way was a Rus army of over 40,000 men. Outnumbered, Jebei and Subutai turned and started to head back east. The Rus sensed an easy victory and set off in pursuit of their retreating enemies. For 8 days, the fast-moving Mongols stayed just out of reach. Then, Jebei and Subutai set their trap. They lured the Rus across the Kalka River and turned to fight. The Rus had fallen for one of the Mongols' most effective tactics, the Feigned Retreat. The stage was set for the Mongol army to test themselves against Europe's finest.
卡尔卡河战役1223年，伟大的蒙古战术家速不台将军将罗斯军引入了他精心挑选的战场——卡尔卡河。厉害！那历史战役，历史就是这个样子。
The Mongols charged across the European plains, with the fatigued Rus army in close pursuit. The Rus had fallen for the Mongol tactic of the Feigned Retreat, and unknowingly followed them into peril. The Mongol general sprung his trap on the enemy scouts. With the Rus scouts cut down, General Subutai crossed the Kalka River. Here, he would stage a full-scale ambush on the vast Rus army.
哇，枪骑兵呢，拿着长枪的呢。
Subutai directed his warriors to split up and lie in wait for the enemy.
”好了，其实没什么啦。
For Subutai's strategy to be effective, he needed to spring his trap before the Rus recovered from their long pursuit. He sent his most fearsome Mangudai horse archers to draw the Rus quickly towards the ambush site. These highly skilled warriors could fire their bows rapidly while riding at speed. The Mongol provocation was effective, and the Rus hastily pursued. The Rus army had fallen for the Feigned Retreat and rode straight into the Mongol ambush. With the enemy surrounded, Subutai's battle-ready warriors descended from all sides.
还没嘞，要紧张，还没嘞，还没，哎呀！哦吼吼，英雄要直接嗝屁喽！不过他这个不是，对啊，这是枪兵呢。然后我们这些全部蒙古兵全部都是骑兵哦。
The Mongol ambush was devastating. and Rus numbers were reduced to a few desperate stragglers. Seeing the fate of their comrades, the last Rus encircled themselves in a makeshift fort of baggage carts.
哦，这边只是教学而已，可以边骑乘边射击。蒙古兵最具代表的应该就是这个骑兵吧？对，哇，这边全部都是枪兵呢！对啊，枪兵整个是蒙古兵最怕的啊！骑兵，好不好？设定上不一样，不知道，管他，随便。
The Rus stockade fell. Despite a valiant last stand, the remnants of the Rus army were cut down. Spurred on by the crushing victory at the Kalka River, the Mongols advanced ever further into the heartland of the Rus.
哦，第一站蛮快的 ，OK， no problem， 没有问题。胜利！
And confusion of battle, communications were vital. One solution was the use of message arrows.
Signal arrows could be used to send messages to your drone troops. Faster than a man, faster than a horse.
It was the quickest way to communicate in the heat of battle. Whistling arrows were blunt, and most importantly, they announced their arrival. But they weren't just used to pass written messages. When shot in a volley, whistling arrows could be loud enough to signal to a small group of warriors, telling them both where and when to attack. On hearing the sound, they would gallop in and strike where the arrows landed. However, a much louder sound was required to sound the retreat or to communicate to the whole army. That was the job of the war drums.
Mongols also used gongs, and the combinations of drums and gongs gave the Mongols a wide array of signaling options.
We do not know the exact rhythms they used, but basic commands could be conveyed with different percussive patterns. They enabled the Mongols to communicate with their own forces and strike fear into the enemy. They were the heartbeat of the Mongol army.
OK， 那么第一站迅速的结束，没错，因此止战役后就是下一集的事情啦。那今天这一集还蛮快的啦，就 先到这吧，谢谢大家观看。那希望我的影片帮我按赞加订阅，有什么想看的游戏可以在下方留言告诉我，就啊。那我们就下期见，大家啵啵。